the doula bag within that. Yeah. So as much of that a mental load that you can take off of the prep, yeah, that helps.
What
These
did
are
I
really,
people? My internet kicked me off.
Yeah.
Mika and Kathleen are giving me really good, or all of us really good tips of how to prepare so we can sleep better.
And say it again, please. What'd you say, Mika?
Well, we were first. Let's see. I was talking about like sleep. Like just because I know because Kim and I have done births together, and she's commented how I could like sleep on a dime, and it's something I've really trained myself for. And even like if I'm not tired, like just close your eyes. Like even if you don't fall asleep, like that rest is whatever little bit of rest you can get is helpful and important. And yeah, so just like really prioritizing even short moments of rest when possible can be very helpful at a birth. And then we were talking, and then I was just also talking about how like the more you do it, the more you see like your capacity to handle when births come closer together. Like, so I think just that time and experience, it does pay off. Yeah, when births do come, when you do have 2 in a day or, several back to back, like you just kind of see like, oh, okay, I can do this. I see how this could work. And it can work because I have what I also was saying, like I have my bin and my favorite doula clothes already set out, and Kathleen was talking about like having her favorite snacks around and like just having those pieces in place, so that you don't have to think about that or worry about that in your mind, like, oh my god, if I get called then I have to wake up and I have to get this together and da, 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 and do I have all these things. It's like it's there, you could just get up and go. And there's such a focus, I think, just on the doula bag, but it's more than just the doula bag, it's like all the other little things you might have to take care of.
Yeah, the things like the things that keep you awake and aware, like just to brush your toothbrush and a clean pair of panties.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, that's like incredible refreshment right there. I'm like, oh, I can do another 12 hours. That was great. Yeah. So stupid internet nonsense aside, I'm going to see where I wanted to go with all of that. I'm very glad, Kim, for you bringing up the questions that you have, because these are important things that we want to keep repeating when we have new doulas coming on board and getting involved with this work. A lot of people don't even try to be birth workers because they can't imagine themselves being on call. Being on call is not my favorite part of the job at all. I complain about it all the time. I've missed baby showers. I've missed my own parties. I've missed all kinds of things. I've missed baby showers that I threw and could not attend because my client went into labor. And so I was at the labor, and that's the way that is. But if one is not prepared to give themselves in that way to this work, then one should not do this work at all. Doctors used to have to be people that did this. When I had my twins, I had my doctor's pager number. When I went into labor, I didn't page some secretary who didn't know me or some nurse who didn't know me. I paged him. He got up from his breakfast. He teased me about, and we laughed about it. Like now, after my babies were born, he's going to go home and finish his breakfast. But he left his house and came to my birth. It was a better deal for everybody. There were some people who were really there, not just for the money. They were really there because they like helping people get their babies out of their body. Those are the people who should be assisting in birth. Yes, Stacy.
So I have a comment of reflection Just the importance, or being reminded. I wouldn't say I didn't know, but just being reminded deeply in my soul is the loyalty of showing up and staying. So I always talk to the relationships that I have with people, the importance of being present and showing up, not just wishing me well, but actually being in the mud with me, the good in the bad, whatever that looks like for you.
Right.
It is, that's one of the things that I think I pride myself on, that if I say I love you, for me to make that commitment is actually showing up. And if I can't be there and present, you're going to get a card or flowers, or not just a text message. I'm going to pick up the phone, or we're going to video, whatever I can do to act out my loyalty and my dedication to that relationship. So in this conversation, it's just for me a reminder that not only is that important, but being prepared to stay for however long that is.
Exactly.
And I equate that to, again, the regular, normal relationship, not normal, no relationship is normal, but the important relationships, that we have personally with other people. I think my desire is to show up and stay. Sometimes that lasts is, short season, sometimes that's a longer season. But for the client in particular, so my relationship, my commitment to the client is to A, be prepared to show up, and B, be prepared to stay for the remaining and long term till closing. So that is that's my takeaway for tonight.
Thank you for sharing that. And it also reminds me to say that our full care of that client is until that baby is a month old.
Mm-hmm.
So as you're planning travel and you're looking at things happening,
Mm-hmm.
we have a 24-hour visit if we can make it. We have a 3 to 5 day visit. We have the 2-week visit, which is the massage for the mama. And then we have the closing, which is approximately when the baby's about a month old. All of that has to be borne in mind when we're making plans for our own lives. And all of that has to happen first.
Can you repeat that? Those 5? Yeah.
Yeah, in the form that Mika made, just so everybody knows that the client, the doula visit form, which is for the Anthem clients, but also for all the clients, lists all the visits.
Okay.
I will repeat again, no problem with that. We're going to visit that client if the hospital will let us in, because now they don't let us into postpartum anymore, which is really annoying. But 24 hours, if we don't physically see them, we will text them or call them. How you doing? How's breastfeeding? Needing any help? Do I need to send you any videos? What's going on?
And this is post-birth?
After the baby's born.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Within 24 hours of the baby's birth, we are either back there to see them, or we send them a little text, or we give them a little call. I tend to text because the phone service in hospitals is so crazy. Texts tend to go through, but phone calls sometimes don't. So I might send them a little text. I have a little like, congratulations, your first day having a baby. Here's some postpartum information. I'll share to folks who are working with me. I'll share all that information with you. Feel free to keep it and share it on with clients that you're working with. I've got, some good Dr. Jack Newman videos on that document and things that have helped them in that first 24 hours. Because of course, all that information that we've given them, they've forgotten half of it. So we repeat it again, but so 24 hours, then 3 to 5 days after the birth, because that is when the mom's mature milk is coming in. We want to make sure that everything goes well, that transition from colostrum to mature milk is a big deal for some mamas. If I'm saying words that you don't understand, that means you need to be doing the reading. So please make sure that you are doing the reading so that you know all of that, so it's comfortable for you. We're available for them to ask all the questions they want. Send us pictures of stuff. Does it look normal? What the hell is that? I'm afraid of this. It's a new mom. She's freaking out. She's trying not to freak out. You know, and lactation consultants are giving her bad information. And I'm constantly correcting everything that lactation educators are saying. I don't know what they're teaching those people. I really don't. Really do not. It's like they're setting them up to not succeed at breastfeeding with everything they say. Anyone who tells a breastfeeding mom to nurse her child every 2 to 3 hours is full of crap. A newborn nurses constantly. Minimum once an hour, but more, especially if the baby had a hard birth. The baby's trying to relieve itself from being traumatized. The baby's trying to not be traumatized by doing all that nursing. Let the baby nurse, please. Anyway, so yeah. So as we're planning our stuff around our lives, things come up. Sure, it's okay if at one of those postpartum visits, say something comes up in your household and your co-doula goes instead of you. Is that the end of the world? No, it isn't. But the practice is working as a team. The primary doula and the co-doula with the greater doula circle around them are working as a team to support that family until that baby is a month old. Right? Worst case scenario would be to ask the client, if a doula in the circle could come and give the massage if they feel comfortable. They probably won't, because they're going to want one of their doula teams to do that. That's very intimate. And we don't want the clients in this world, everything is exchangeable, nothing special, nothing sacred. And so the client might not even get that she feels uncomfortable with all this changing. I want us to know that that's uncomfortable for the client. Oh, it's just another person. Oh, she wants a massage. It's just a service that's being provided for her. No, it is more than that. We have taken a sacred journey with her. It is not over yet. You can't just have new members popping up. In a world where everybody's commitment is in pencil, ours has to be in ink. Especially, I have to say, especially here in the Bay Area, people, oh yeah, I'll do that. And then you don't hear from them. So let's not do that. Let's not re-traumatize people.
Can I also add something
Yeah,
briefly?
sure you can.
Okay, I was just remembering when you used to teach us when we were working with clients in foster care, but this I guess goes for anyone who's like working within the system,
Right.
that people are constantly failing them. And so to break that cycle and to really let them know that we are there, and the only way that we can do that is by actually being there. There's nothing we can say to them. And so that presence is very important in that aspect. Especially when working with that particular, group of people who are always seeing people coming in and out.
Which is every pregnant person. You might not see the same nurse twice. You may not see the same nurse midwife twice. You for sure might not see the same doctor twice. In a sea of all these faces, who's that one face has been telling her that she's beautiful or they're beautiful for months? It's us. So we want that to matter. I want it to matter, and I hope that you all do. I really, really do. So I'm just going to say a few words. If no one else has anything else to say about this subject, I want to say a couple things about sibling support. And I do want us to have enough time for everybody to check in before we close. And I thank you for allowing that switch to occur. So when we have clients who are having not their first baby, we have to be very particular about the care and feeding and support of the children who are already here. Sometimes, depending upon the family situation, they are overwhelmed at baby 2, 3, 4, 5, whoever's coming. And one of the problems with being, with being in this culture with so little support for families and a culture that really thinks that people who have more than 2 children are just kind of gross anyway. Their attitude is kind of like, ew, you have how many kids? Ew, what's wrong with you? Like, anyway, so we want to aid and support the babies that are here so that they will be good and loving and happy siblings for the new little ones coming, right? We want to make sure that as much as possible over Zoom that we have connection with the older kids, talk to them so that they kind of know who we are. When we go to the house to do that in-person visit, we do the comfort techniques. Ask if the big kids can be involved, encourage them to do stuff with the rebozo, encourage the parent to share positive birth images with the kids that are already here, already outside of their mother. So the fetus is here too, it's just inside of its mother. So give them the opportunity to talk about it. Give them the opportunity to go, ew, 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 ew. Especially tweens are gonna do that. Tweens are like, everything is to a tween. Let them get over it. Let the little ones draw art about it. If you have to pick up some paper and some crayons and come over to the house and everybody draw pictures of their new sibling and tell me a story about your new sibling. Tell me what you're going to do when your new sibling is born, how you're going to play, where you're going to take your new sibling, how you're going to support mommy, how you want to help mommy. Are you afraid of anything? Or is anything scary about the new sibling coming? Let them talk to you. It is kind of family therapy. We can't call it that because you have to have a specific license to call it that in the state of California, or they will put you in jail. And you know how I feel about all that. But that's what it is. That's what it is. So let's create art for the new baby, and let's put our pictures up in the nursery for the new baby. And we've seen a bunch of very nice ladies on YouTube who are kind enough to film their beautiful birth stories so that we can see, especially for younger kids, hear the sounds of birth, because that can be scary. Even though mommy's completely okay, and if little ones are present at a birth, the sounds that mommy makes can be very frightening. And mommy needs to be free to make those sounds. If she needs to howl like a wolf, she needs to howl like a wolf. I don't want her to hold that all in because she's afraid of scaring her child. Right? This is where the sibling doula is a very important person. Sibling doula could be the co-doula, it could be another doula who's specifically a sibling doula. The sibling doula's job is to take care of the siblings. Check out how they are. If they need to leave the room because mommy's making noises and it's just so loud, they want to be in another room, the sibling doula goes with them. color with them, draw with them, sing songs with them, watch funny things on TV, sit next to the 13-year-old while he's doing his, playing his video game, and talk to him about how he's feeling. Because one of the things that typically little boys will do will be to withdraw into a thing like that, because there's a lot that they are thinking and feeling right at that moment. And who is going to ask him how he feels? Mommy's busy giving birth. Daddy or partner is supporting mommy. The midwives are supporting the family. Who's going to ask if the 13-year-old is thinking that his mother might die? Who would ask that? The sibling doula would. Just ask the question and be quiet and listen to what comes out of the kid's mouth. Who will care enough to do that? The sibling doula would. Even the grandmother might not be available to do a conversation like that. Might be scary for grandma. There's some grandmas who can do it. I'm one of those grandmas. And there are grandmas who can do it, but not all of them. Because they're sitting there doing the same thing, wondering if someone's going to die. Right? Doula families, not just the birthing person. See, if you see the mother-in-law sitting in a corner kind of twitching, someone needs to go sit next to that grandmother and say, how you doing? You okay? Want to go in the other room and talk a little bit? Can I fix your cup of tea? You all right? We're there for everybody in the family. The sibling doula, though, really, really focuses on the kids and makes sure that they're okay. The sibling doula might tap the co-doula and say, hey, go talk to grandma. I think she's losing it. Because we want, the kids should be free to be in the room if they want to be, and out of the room if they want to be. And if the mother wants them in or out, we negotiate all of that. The mother wants everybody out of the room, then everybody freaking leaves. I don't care who you are. Right? Some little kids want to get really, really close to their mothers while they're birthing, right next to her on the bed. And if that's okay with the birthing person, then great. It's beautiful. Some little kids want to be, in the other room. They come in and peek and they go out. They come in and peek and they go out. That's okay. Some little kids will come in and get kisses from mommy and then leave.
Can I briefly share something again? I'm so sorry to cut you off.
Go for it.
I just suddenly remembered a very beautiful moment of when my dad was telling his younger sister her birth story, because he was there.
Tell me.
And he remembered everything. We were sitting around having dinner in the pueblo, and he was like, oh yeah, he's like, I remember I was playing with my older sibling and the midwife came, and I think I've told you this story before, Samsara, that this midwife had a lot of jewelry on, so every time she went to a birth, people needed to bring her a little plate because she would take off all her jewelry. And so we were very excited because we knew, you were going to be coming. And he's telling my aunt all of this because she's the baby in the family. And, he said, we were just playing in the living room and playing around on these like sacks of corn or something, sacks of beans. I don't know what they're building little forts. And then he's like, and then my dad came and said that you were here, that our little sister was here. And we were so excited. And she was just looking at my dad like, oh, she was just like, it was just a very beautiful moment. And I just love that it was a family experience. It was a family memory, and everybody gets to kind of like share their bit. And he was telling her birth story as he remembered it.
That's so sweet. That's a wonderful, wonderful thing. Sibling rivalry is a construct of this screwed up society that we live in. It does not have to happen. if people would put themselves into the hearts and spirits of the children in whatever the story is, it can be alleviated. You know, so yes, so not only, you know, that there's a story, there's the birth story of this lovely family. We're gonna check in, Mika. Let me have you check in before you go. Is that okay? I'm gonna just say real quick that every person who sees the birth has a piece of the story, and how exciting for the other children in the family to have their versions to be able to share with their sibling as their sibling grows. That's beautiful. So we're gonna go right into check-in now, and then we're gonna go into close. Go ahead and check in. If there's lingering questions, you can certainly add it in. Let's start with Mika because she has to go. Go ahead, Mika.
You're gonna turn off recording, Samsa.
Oh,